they were giving her every diagnosis in the book besides autism. So I had to do my research, and I'm like, let me tell y'all what it is. Like,
Okay, here.
what's up?
Hey, Mom.
What's up?
Hey, Mom.
What's up?
Hey, Mom.
What's up?
Hey, Mom.
What's up?
Welcome back to Moms Actually. We are on the set, and today we have Ayumi, and we are so excited to be here. We're so excited to just join in the conversation. My name is Morgan, and this is Blair. And let's just go ahead and get started.
Yes, so whenever we have a guest, we play a fun little game called It's Giving Motherhood, just to kind of like break the ice, let you know we're friendly, and that you can go sit with us. So we are gonna ask you a few questions. They're gonna be either or questions. So are you ready?
So it's like true or false? Or...
It's gonna be
like
pick one or
this
the
or
other.
that.
Okay,
This or that.
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay, so theme park or quiet cabin trip?
Quiet cabin trip.
Okay.
Every time.
She said every single time.
Yeah.
Work your dream job or win the lottery.
I'm gonna win that lottery.
She said every
I could do
single
both. After I win that lottery.
That's so true.
Exactly.
Okay.
Hulu or Netflix binge?
I'm gonna say Netflix.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't watch TV, honestly.
Oh.
I'm gonna say
right.
Netflix because I know my kids watch Netflix.
Okay.
Are you a morning person or a night?
Night.
Night?
Yes.
Don't talk to you in the morning? Is that what it is?
Don't talk to me until I get my caffeine.
Yes,
my
the
matcha
coffee, all the
latte.
things.
Yes.
Okay, the famous superpower question.
Okay.
Fly or read minds?
Fly or read minds?
Which one would you rather do? Fly or read someone's mind?
Oh, that sounds so stressful if I could read your mind.
Yes.
I don't know. Can I turn it off and on?
She's like, I need to know.
Why not? Your superpower.
I guess I'll read minds.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Are you a thinker or are you a doer?
I'm a thinker.
She's like, I think I'm a thinker.
I think you have the right answer.
Yeah.
And then social time or alone time?
I say social. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, you're
being
like,
around people.
you are the social media girl right now. Like, you're literally popping right now.
Yes.
Thank you.
I would love for you to like just tell us a little bit more about yourself and even make sure you follow her. But literally tell us what you are really making sure that people are aware about, and we just want to know more about you.
Okay. So my page used to be about like being a mom and then having a child on the spectrum. So with this journey, I have been learning so much with like autism, and then I'm like, the more I learn, I'm like, hold up, like this sounds a lot like me. Like,
Okay.
hold on. So it was already really challenging getting my daughter diagnosed because first of all, she's intelligent. She's just like the average kid.
Yes.
So they were giving her every diagnosis in the book besides autism. So I had to do my research, and I'm like, let me tell y'all what it is. Like,
Here.
right here. And they're like, you're right. So I got like 4 different,
So Dr. Ayumi.
Yes, basically. So, I made sure I went to multiple doctors to make sure, like, yep, every time. And during this journey of teaching the audience or followers about autism, that's when I started learning more about myself. So the traits for children are different than adults.
Wow.
Okay.
And I was just looking at children, so I'm like, that ain't me, I don't have a tantrum and cry and this and that. But when you look into women with autism, you're just like, hold on, like, I didn't know there was different traits.
Right.
So that's when I discovered and got diagnosed myself, and yes, by multiple people, that I do have autism spectrum disorder. And then I'm like, I need to share this with the world, because imagine how many other women who are on the spectrum and have no idea, especially women of color, like they're like one of the most undiagnosed,
Wow.
demographics. So that's what my page is currently about, is spreading awareness and trying to help the community about neurodivergence, ADHD, autism. And it's been actually helping so many people. Like, I get messages all day, every day, like, oh my gosh, my children, because of you, me, because, I just learned so much.
Yeah.
So,
You recently did a post about masking
Yeah.
what it looks like to, autism and how you don't you don't actually like want to preach that because of how you wish like you didn't have to mask and things like that. Could you just elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yes, so I know there's a bad history with ABA therapy, which is for like autism and trying to teach them to blend in with society. But studies are showing that that's actually like very hurtful for the person or child because they are made a certain way. Your brain is wired a certain way. If they're tapping their feet, if they're clapping or flapping their arms, that's because they're regulating themselves.
Right.
So having to like hide that or like not do it in public, it's like traumatizing.
Stressful,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's very stressful. So masking is actually really bad, and society just needs to like accept autism. Like if there's a child screaming, like don't automatically think they're bad. Like they might be on the spectrum, or if you see someone who might be a little bit socially awkward, like just be nice, you know. So
and that's period.
I think that's like normal
human kindness.
right,
Yeah.
literally.
Absolutely.
So you say like, you know, your daughter was intelligent, etc. Like what made you realize like that something was different about her to even go do all of the work?
So what I noticed is when I had my other daughter, she most likely on the spectrum too, but you know, there's different
It's a spectrum.
Yeah. So I was like, my youngest daughter was socially accelerating, while my oldest was a little behind in some areas. And I was just like, okay, she's catching up, but they're 6 years apart.
Okay.
And like socially, my oldest, you know, might not understand things that she should.
Okay.
For her age, I'm like, okay, like you should have understood this concept, or you should be a little bit more independent, or she might have challenges in school socially, academically, like she has a genius IQ. So things like that started not adding up. Like, oh, she's struggling to follow simple directions. Like literally, like put this over there was like a very hard challenge for her. So that's when I was like, okay, there's something going on. But also, honestly, after learning, there was like clues since she was really young.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're a mom, you just don't, you know, whatever.
You're trying to,
But I remember my coworkers when I was in the military was like, she's very delayed in her speech. And I was like, no, she's not, you know.
You're protecting your child.
I'm like, no, she's only 3. I'm like, she has time. Like, she's talking, but yeah, she might be mumbling. But now I look back at videos, I'm like, oh, yeah, I probably could have found out then. But yeah.
I think it's hard because there's such standard, like, even though it's a spectrum, it seems like we don't think someone or even a child has autism unless it's like they don't want to be touched or they don't speak at all. And so it's like, if it's not that, and it can't be autism or it's got to be something else. And I think what's cool about the conversation is to show like it doesn't have to look one way.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You didn't even know, you know.
That you had,
Right.
I would also love to touch on the fact that you said even in school. So when it comes to her being in school and as a mom, you want to advocate for your child. What does that look like for you?
It's challenging because I don't want to. She's older now.
Right.
So
How old is she?
She's 12.
Okay.
So, you know, I try to balance with, you know, not try to step in too much because she doesn't want to be embarrassed. I'm always up there like, these kids are bullying her or whatnot. So I try to like teach her confidence and how to stick up for herself.
good.
And I always talk to her teachers, her counselors, like, you guys better make sure she's getting these accommodations, okay?
Right.
Because like socially, if she doesn't do something like this, like I'm gonna need you to not get, you know, upset with her and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, they were having a little bit challenges with that. Like, hey, she left a mess on her desk. I'm like, okay, well,
First of all, she's a child too. Like,
so they would do like little complaints here and then. Like I told her to clean up and she left the classroom. I'm like, well, remind her, don't take it personal. So like, you know, this is a balance. So I'm even thinking about homeschooling her.
Okay.
Because she is having like challenges with bullies. Because she is different and she's Black. And she's in a very nice school. There's not that many diversity.
People that look like her.
So it's a challenge. I'm like, I might have to homeschool you because the struggle is real.
I understand.
Yeah.
Do you guys have conversations as well? Like, do you talk to her about just even navigating her own diagnosis and what that looks like? Especially when I just can imagine as a child and you're coming home and you're not understanding why you're being bullied. Like, what does that look like?
You know, I try to talk to her because I've been through the same thing as her, and I didn't know as a child why I couldn't make friends, why. So, there's certain situations I might hear her talking to her friends. I'm like, what you said might have not been nice, or you could have said it this way. She's like, well, I'm just telling the truth. Or, I'm like, there's certain ways to, so I just try to teach her from experience. Like, I know, but society says that this is considered rude or whatnot. So it's like a balance between they have to accept you for who you are and what's like, could be a little rude or whatnot. But, I do talk to her about it. Like,
I love that you're also teaching her like accountability.
Yes.
Because that's really important too.
Yes. I just want her to be confident and proud of who she is.
Yeah.
So I know you talk her through a lot based on like your own experiences and then just being mom, of course, but what therapies or interventions have worked for her, or like has she experienced that maybe have helped, just in case anybody else is?
She got ABA therapy when she was like 11, autism behavioral therapy or something like that.
Okay.
But that's what she got when she was like 10 or 11. And it actually helped me more than her to be a better parent, because they gave us a lot of tools like, here's a checklist for you to do every morning, like brush your teeth, put your clothes on, look in the mirror. It taught us how to like help her become more independent.
Right.
So I think with that, like the tools to help me to guide her with her everyday tasks and stuff like that, I think that's what really helped me and her. But yeah, it's just like basic things to help us with mood and learning how to socially say things at the right time. Like they said, like when you have a big feeling, maybe write it down and things like that. So a lot of tools.
It's almost like you guys are going through this journey together in so many different ways, because you're kind of like, not only you're trying to navigate with her, but you're also teaching yourself new things, because you're also having to do these same therapies. Is that true? Or is it different? Like the way because you didn't find out you had autism until later.
Right, just like a year ago.
Right.
So what have you been doing?
It's almost like your journey is like the same, right?
Yeah.
Or is it different?
When she was in ABA therapy, I didn't know.
Okay.
So this was just like, I thought I knew
supporting her.
Yeah, just supporting her.
Yeah.
I'm dyslexic as well, so I'm like, I understand certain things. But once I found out, I've been reading a lot. There's like a book called Learning How to Unmask or Unmasking Autism. And I'm trying to find a therapist who specializes in adults with autism, which is very challenging to find.
I believe it,
especially in Vegas. So I do have a therapist, and I just have to like educate myself, honestly, and like learn how to unmask and learn how to, just be myself and not try to blend in with everyone.
I imagine
And
that's
it's
hard.
stressful.
You've done it your whole
My
life.
entire life.
Without even
So I'm like, who am I? Like, who would I
gosh.
I'm like, who would I be, if I didn't have to learn to blend in with everyone else. So I'm trying to figure out who I am right now. And I think it's a beautiful journey. Like, I'm so blessed to have my daughter. I'm like, without her, I would not probably ever known.
Yeah.
Like, because I wouldn't do research about it.
Because I was going to say, it's just such a fine line, because I think like a lot of stuff, I can even like recognize, I'm like, but then it's like, how do we get away from how like everybody calls themselves OCD, but OCD is like an actual diagnosis with things behind it. Like, so I can imagine like, things get oddly popular, like to just say. Like, it's just weird because you can see yourself in a lot of things. So it's like, how do I guess, what are the steps to even find out if you are or aren't? Because I can imagine a lot of people seeing this and thinking like, hey, maybe I am, like even as an adult. So how did you get diagnosed for yourself?
So I did a lot of research, and honestly, like TikTok was a lifesaver because there's so many other autistic adults who have been diagnosed since they're a baby or later on, and I'm like, oh wow, they sound like me or they look like me, and I'm just like, this is interesting. And then I did my own research, and I found like online tests first called like Aspie.com, and it's like a long test, and they're like, if you get a high score, this means you're most likely on the spectrum, and I'm gonna need you to get diagnosed if you want to. So 200 was the highest. I got like 187. So they're like, you are.
Go see that doctor.
Right. Basically, it was like, if you're over 250 or 240, I'm like, I'm 287. Like, I'm almost, the highest you get. So I was like, okay, it's like every question I was like, yes, this is me. Yes. So my therapist definitely was like, you definitely probably are most likely. And then that's when I seen another doctor who is a psychologist, and she diagnosed me. She was like, yes, they start from the childhood, like, tell me your childhood and all these questions. So after that, she's like, you hit every criteria. She's like, you only needed 4 out of 6.
You checked all the boxes.
She's like, you checked all the boxes. I'm like, I know.
This is just a formality at this point.
At this point, I'm just confirming 5 times. But yeah, she was like, yeah, you definitely are. So.
Well, as a mom, I would say it's probably we're already trying to balance like our lives, our self-care, and taking care of our needs. And then we're also taking care of our children's needs. How have you found, what works for you, especially speaking to other moms who are, they have a child who's autistic? What would you say has been your best practice to make sure you balance not only your needs, but theirs as well?
Honestly, I'm just now trying to figure out that balance.
Which is fine.
Because I just been 1,000 miles per hour. So lately, the last 6 months to a year, I'm like, I need help.
Yeah.
Go get resources, outsource for if you need a housekeeper, if you need a nanny, get that help. So that's what I've been doing is outsourcing and trying to get help, because there's just no way that, especially when you're an entrepreneur and have multiple businesses and having to travel all the time. I'm like, okay, I need to balance. Another thing I've been doing is when they're at school, if I need a massage, I'm gonna get a massage. If I need self-care, yes. So I'm like, okay, I have to add self-care to my routine, because if not, I'm gonna go crazy. I was burnt out the past 32 years. So now I'm like, I'm no longer gonna live that life. So let me
You're unsubscribing from that life.
No, seriously.
That's good.
No, I'm unsubscribing from that life. So let me do some me time, take care of myself. So that's what I'm on right now. At least once a week, do something for yourself.
That's good. They say put your oxygen mask on first. You can't take care of anybody if you don't take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Do you have anything coming up that you want to share with our viewers?
Anything coming
that you're working on?
Anything this summer that they should look forward to?
Or you're just stay tuned.
around. You know what? Not that I can think of. I have lots of business ventures.
What you got going on?
So I want to do real estate investing. And even maybe a creator studio, studio or a place for creators to be able to film if they don't have that environment at their home, or take photography, do photography over there. And my daughter's doing a little acting here and there. A couple TV shows been hitting me up.
She's like, I'm a momager now. Okay.
Momager. Okay, Kris Jenner.
That. Hey, Chris, if you want to manage me, I'm gonna need you in my life.
Yeah.
I have one more question for you, though. For anybody who's watching, that is a parent to a kid that might be in a class with your daughter or another child that's just, different. Yeah. What should they say to their children? How do they prepare their children to be kind people? What would you want them to say? How?
I guess to teach other parents, I would say be accepting of who they are, or just be nice. Just be a nice person, in general. Do not take advantage of them. Be aware of what you're saying. Don't say nothing that would hurt your feelings if you were in that shoe. So, just be nice. Don't treat others the way you want to be treated.
Be kind.
Yes.
That's it. And I think it's a normal, it should be. We should think that way. But for whatever reason, that does happen.
Kids are so mean.
I know. And so are adults.
So are adults. Yes.
True, yeah.
So be kind and don't be brave in comments if you're not brave in real life.
Okay.
So,
thank you so much for joining us today. This is Moms Actually. Make sure you guys like the episode. Share it with another mother. Subscribe. Make sure you follow Ayumi and follow us if this is your first time seeing us. And
subscribe.
We really appreciate you guys watching.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Hey, Mom.
What's up?
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 Hey, Mom.
What's up?